so long it's like alchemy.
Saturday night, Denver, Golden State, and what may be the scariest thing to any NBA team, it's these four in transition. Splash Brothers in the corner, KD filling the lane, big dunk. Remember, Denver put it on them in a preseason game. There'd be none of that on this night. Draymond had Paul Millsap absolutely on locks. And then Clay is the early trigger finger for this offense. You see him itchy early and often hitting the three ball. Golden State jumped out to a huge lead, but then would they be rocked to sleep as it came too easy? They would. Will Barton spot up three ball, and don't look now, Denver has the lead midway through the second quarter. Now, I've only been to Denver once. I'm not sure if they have a zoo in that city. You know, maybe y'all can help me out. But there was a manimal sighting at the rim. Kenneth Faried roofs the rookie. This ain't the Pac-12 no more, baby. He's going to learn, but I still love the aggression. Kenneth Faried, yeah, he's still around. Don't call it a comeback. Then he puts it on Omri Caspi. And with Daryl Arthur looking flabby and sick, Kenneth Faried, Mike Malone, you may want to use his talents, particularly at home where you're getting up and running. Looney, nice seal. That's too much space. Warm-up jumper for Steph, who is dropping dimes, not really looking for the offense early on, but Clay always looking for the shot, right? You had Tom Izzo there looking at, you know, two former players he coached, Draymond. And, you know, he called out Dre. He's like, you whine after every play, Dre. Shout out to Izzo for keeping it 100. Keeps the ball moving. KD with a quiet 27, 7, and 7. How about that? Outlet Zaza, who had the play of the game. Why is it not in these highlights? Go check Patreon. Steph's like, what's in your wallet, Moutier? Here's a three ball. No, 4. Steph with the 4-point play as the game started to get away from these young Nuggets on Saturday night. Take another look at it. It wasn't the cheap Jamal Crawford one. He earned the call. Steph not quite done yet. Stat padding a little bit. Stop. Change directions. Tries to recover. So how about 2 field goals equaling 8 points for Steph? 22 and 11 as they roll in Denver. All right, y'all. I apologize. Exhausted, man. 12 hours of work, turnaround anyway, weekends. But I still wanted to bring y'all a video and my thoughts on the game, man. It looks like they're getting into shape, right? It looks like offensively, the timing, they're a little more synchronized, right? And it was great to see that early burst of energy. I think maybe the first game where we were the team with more energy to start the game, honestly. But then I knew, I tweeted it. Those of y'all that follow my Twitter, man, I was like, hopefully they don't get rocked to sleep, right? Because I think there's a trend where when things come a little bit too easy, they kind of flip the switch off, right? They're like, they start, you know, Katie's thinking about his tech company and Steph's thinking about Aisha's cupcakes. But you know what I'm saying? Their mind starts to wander and it just becomes a little too easy. And it did happen in the second quarter. I didn't like that Kerr, there was like a 4-minute drought. They didn't get a basket for 4 minutes and there was no Steph or KD on the floor. And I think Kerr rode it a little bit long, you know, but I think he felt comfortable given the opponent, right? Let's talk a little bit about Zaza, man. You know, I've had some requests to bring it up and, you know, he's a kind of a polarizing member of the team where some of the more casual fans or people not quite sure what Zaza brings to the table. Well, first and foremost, he is the best screen setter by far. If you notice, when guys curl off for an open shot, he's leveling people with his screens, right? And then he does a lot of extracurricular in the paint, you know what I'm saying, throwing bows, and he's just rugged. And I've said this before, where you have these guys that love to attack the basket. In particular, you know, let's use Dennis Smith Jr., right? He's going to the basket with reckless abandon, you know, early in his career. And when you have a guy like Zaza in there where he's not going to block you, he's not Hassan Whiteside in there, right? But what he does is he gives you a little bit of pause for exploding to the rim. You second guess going in as ferocious as you normally would because you're like, hey, you never know. He's goony. He might lay you out. He might put you on your butt. So we need that toughness, right? And then by all accounts, everybody loves him. You saw he hit a couple little push shot floaters in this game, and he got off offensively. If y'all missed that play, I got it on my Patreon where, you know, he goes coast to coast, and then the celebration left a lot to be desired, man. But I love his effort. I love his toughness. He's a great teammate, and he does hurt us offensively at times where obviously he looks like he's playing, you know, in mud. He's not going to get up and elevate, right? And sometimes he just physically can't make the plays, but he always is there mentally, right? And he gives us some much-needed toughness. So shout out to Zai. It was good to see him have like a nice offensive outing. KD 27, 7, and 7, and it didn't even really seem like he was all, you know, to have those quietly is ridiculous. What else happened? So Nick Young got in when it was garbage time. Patrick McCaw, I mentioned this previously, has officially taken his minutes, as well as Omri Caspi, right? That 2-3 wing position or whatever, interchangeable minutes you want to talk about. McCaw's getting him because he plays defense. And I think Nick Young's got the message, man. I highlighted in one clip about the way he runs his routes. I call it route running. I know it's not football, but when you watch Steph and Clay, they're absolutely masterful coming off screens. Clay in particular, moving without the ball. If you watch Nick, he's very lazy. He's got away with it his whole career, but he makes rounded cuts, and he's just sloppy with it. So one, the flow of the offense is not nice, or the spacing is not what it should be when he's on the floor. But more importantly, he got the message. He had 2 steals, and it was the most engaged I saw him defensively in these first 10 games. But one thing that was notable was you watch the bench, and he hit a 3, and then he hit a fadeaway, man. He's a microwave oven. He hits one shot, and that's all it takes. He thinks he's hot, which I love. It's fun to watch, right? But you watch the bench, Draymond, KD, all these guys, they get up and they're cheering like he just hit a windmill dunk, right? When he just hit a basket. And it lets me know that they want this for him. They reached out to him in the offseason, right? They recruited him. They brought him in here. And that's very important moving forward as he's struggled. He's still out of shape. But if the core 4 want Nick Young to be a part of this, they're going to try their best to engage him and bring him along to by playoff time he can be another weapon off the bench. Livingston took a scheduled rest, right? So that's where a little bit of the minutes were different. But other than that, man, no complaints from the Warriors in. Denver, I like Moutier. Man. Murray and Harris, I think that their skill level may be higher than Moutier, but Moutier's competitive nature and his competitive juices, if you will, are greater than those two. Jokic kind of cruised, man. I've seen him much more aggressive. He never really got a rhythm in this game, and I'd like to see them run the offense through him. And that's the idea of Harris and Murray, right? They're better shooters. They spread the floor. You let Jokic be the point forward. I'm not going to lie, I haven't seen much of Denver this year, but I really do like Mike Malone, and I like their talent. Millsap, I don't know if that was the move to make, man. I don't know if that was the move to make at his age and at the development point of the other young players on this team, looking at how strong the West is. But I'll keep my eye on them. We'll be back, Miami at Oracle Monday night. Hit that like, share, and subscribe. I'm out, y'all.